A beautiful turkey dinner, all the fixins, reminds me of my childhood. For the holidays, my cousins would come over, of course, aunts and uncles too. The adults were so busy upstairs, they weren't paying any attention to us downstairs in the basement, running around and just basically going crazy. My parents didn't seem to care. We were tearing up the basement. It was the best time. Fast forward to today. I have my family, you have yours. We want to recreate these memories. We want our kids to have these beautiful remembrances of their holidays. And in our minds, that means recreating these decadent dishes that the smells just bring us back. The problem is, how can I possibly eat healthy keto during the holidays when I'm surrounded by all the foods that remind me of the happiness and the carefreeness of like not having weight to lose and the joy that I lived as a small child? We're all sitting around the table, talking and laughing and eating. This is how we have fun now. And unfortunately, eating for fun has a huge impact on all of us. Our weight is rising, our health is failing, and we still want to enjoy the holidays. The top tips that you get to manage your health and your weight over the holidays are just blatantly wrong. I want to give you 5 simple, actionable tips that you can implement every single day during the holidays to ensure that you don't gain any weight, and very likely you will continue to lose. Before jumping into solutions, I want to introduce myself. I'm Violet, and my goal here is to inspire you to use real food to get healthy and lose weight. That's why we're going to talk about the 4 tips that I really see being encouraged often, that they're sneaky ways to encourage you to fail. Because if we try to do these things, as I'm going to lay out right now, you're going to see failure. They'll tell you to do things like increase physical activity. So we're going to ramp up the exercise the days leading up to the holidays to help us balance out our calories. First, the holiday cookies, chocolate, and rich desserts that you're going to be eating will far outweigh any exercise that you'll be able to do. So the calorie deficit is not going to work in your favor. Here's another problem. Because you've pre-exercised and pushed yourself harder, you'll feel like if you deserve to eat the garbage, which now likely means that you'll eat even more than you would have eaten if you hadn't pre-exercised, if you're anything like me. But more importantly, the part of this that just, what happens when you're in the normal part of the year and your weight goes up a little bit, you regain some weight? We get upset. We get upset because we don't ever want the scale to be going up. It's not because I planned to gain weight that I'm going to be okay with it. This doesn't actually solve anything, because as soon as the holidays begin and I start eating stuff, I'm going to be on the scale and I'm going to see the pounds going on, and I'm going to be upset anyway, because that 5 or 10 pounds that I lost, I'm giving it away. Physical activity during the holidays can be helpful, but not for weight loss, Wellness Warrior. If I continue to go to the gym or whatever activities that I do, I like to snowboard and longboard and ride my bike and go for walks and all the things. If I keep doing the things that I normally do, if I've eaten off plan and my body is reacting, I'm going to notice it. I'm going to feel bloated. I'm going to have joint pain. My big thing is joint pain. I'm going to be out of breath when I'm trying to do my activities. Any signs that I'm not managing will help me to see that the food I ate earlier or yesterday was a mistake. That's more motivation for me to say, you know what, maybe I'm going to eat on plan, because it allows me to feel great. Now, the next suggestion that they gave is to consider eating a little less the days before the holidays in anticipation of the big feast you're going to have during the holidays. And this is going to help you to avoid crash dieting. Now, obviously, we have the same problem that we had for the previous one, but now we're adding to this that on a standard diet, if that's what I'm doing, I'm eating so much processed food that it's already hard for me to feel satiated, feel full during my day. So if I'm trying to reduce the amount of food I'm eating, I'm going to be even hungrier. However, if I'm doing a keto or carnivore lifestyle, why would I want to eat less and put myself in the position where I'm hungry? That's not part of the story for keto and carnivore. You get to eat whatever you want without being hungry. Regardless of what you happen to be doing, this advice is going to make you feel restricted. Now, let's imagine for a second that you see this advice, but you're not currently dieting. Well, then you're not likely to be able to stick to restricting yourself, because if you were that committed to losing weight, you'd already be doing something to manage how much you're eating. This plan is actually going to have you in the position where leading up to the holidays, you're going to be hungry, cranky, and tired. This is not the best way to start your celebration. Instead of doing that, what's your favorite meal or dish that you have at home? Prepare that and bring it to the party. Now, what I like to do is I'll make my portion, so the amount that I would normally eat in a day, I eat one meal a day, I would bring that with me so that I know that when I eat that, I am fine for the night. But I'll bring enough. I'll bring a separate container with enough for people to try or share or whatever. I don't need to worry about what happens to that. I only need to make sure that I eat my portion and I'm fine for the night. Now, if you're too shy to bring a dish that looks different than what everybody else is going to be eating, then the next thing you can do is eat the meat that's available. And I mean, really, just the meat. Chances are very good that your host is not cooking in the keto or carnivore way of eating. And so therefore, there's going to be spices and possibly vegetables in the meat that they've made. So we're not sure if even just eating the meat might give me some carb count is how close can that get me to being at my carb count for the entire day. If it was me, I would make myself a plate of the safest looking meat. And if most of the stuff is baked, you probably can get away with just taking that meat and not having too much carb. But if there's any stews or whatnot, that's a little bit more tricky. But still, I think that that's the safest thing you can do in a holiday meal, because by only focusing on the meat, so have a carnivore day is really what I'm suggesting. And only focusing on the meat is going to help you to minimize the extra carbs that are coming in. The next advice that you're going to get is enjoy the holidays. Don't worry too much about weight gain. It doesn't matter. Just focus on spending time with the loved ones and celebrating. So the underlying message here is eat the junk and don't worry about it. We know that that's impossible for us to do. At least it was impossible for me to do. If I am actively eating something and I see my weight rising, there's no way I'm not thinking about it. Besides which, I'm always thinking about it. You're always thinking about how much you weigh and the fact that this isn't healthy. That's why you're even watching this video right now, right? Because you don't want to gain weight over the holidays. So if you do throw caution to the wind and gain 5, 10, or heaven forbid, 20 pounds, you're going to be upset with yourself for months while you're trying to lose that weight. This advice doesn't take into consideration that maybe you actually have medical issues that will be impacted by you eating the wrong foods. Weight gain isn't the only risk to eating off plan over the holidays. What if when you eat high carbohydrate, your mental health struggles? What if when you eat the wrong foods, you have joint pain like I do? Your health matters, and this advice causes you to struggle. Now, if you are one of those people who can eat off plan, and not have it impact your cravings, you do have the option to eat a piece of cake or a cookie. And the goal that you now have is stay within your carb number, your carb limit, whatever that happens to be. If you're trying to stay under 20, stay under 20. For me, I had to stay under 18, stay under 18. If your carb number is 5, then stay under 5. Stay within the limit of how many carbohydrates you can actually eat. And then, of course, they're going to tell you that if you're concerned about weight gain, make it part of your New Year's resolution to get back on track as soon as the holidays are over. Wellness Warrior, if you're already struggling with your health and your weight, this holiday indulgence is going to make it even harder for you to get back on track. We know that, 36% of people are still on their New Year's resolutions by the time February rolls around, February 1st. And only 9% of people can make it to the end of the year. If I've been struggling my entire adulthood, which I was, with my weight, what's the chances that this year, because I decided to indulge for the holidays, that I'm going to jump right back? No, it doesn't. It's a trap. It doesn't happen. We're actually risking that those extra pounds that we put on. And remember, when you struggle with your weight, it takes you months to take off 5 pounds, but you can put on 10 pounds really quick. So maybe now those extra 10 pounds are following me into the future, over the new year, into the next holiday season. The obvious answer is to stay on track with healthy eating. And the best way to do that is to respect what we really want for the holidays, which is to enjoy our time with family and friends. If we actually pay attention to what it was that we loved about the holidays as children, what we see is that it was the magic of getting together with family and friends, that feeling that we get, the closeness, reconnecting with the people that we care about. That's what we're actually looking for. It is never, or at least it wasn't ever when we were kids, about the stupid food. And guess what? Your family and friends don't care what you're eating. They care about seeing you, hanging out with you, and having a good time with you. If we focus on connecting with the people around us that we care about, we're going to be able to eat on plan and catch up and have an amazing time doing it. But we're going to struggle to do that if the food on the table still looks inviting to us, still looks more fun than the healthy food. So click on this video to tackle that problem next. I'll meet you over there.